Yes, we are live. Hi everyone, how are you? We are back today. It is we've had our August bank holiday weekend on our break. So feeling slightly disorientated here now, being back online. And my guest has disappeared from my screen. So I don't know where she's gone. I don't know what has happened at the other end. We are due to talk to Sarah Breslin Wellness and about colon therapy, hydrotherapy, and cupping, both of which I know nothing about and was really looking forward to finding out more. So I am hoping that we get her back here on screen so that she can come on, join us and fill us in on what it is she does. But one of the other things that I wanted to get out to you there is that everybody has a story of how they have turned things around, either their own life or their career, through fitness, through diet, through various therapies. And if you're someone out there that would like to come on and say, yes, I was this way, and then I started this, and now I'm, so you have completely changed your life and turned yourself around, and things are looking good, or as good as they can be going through the time that we're going through, please do get in touch, because we would absolutely love to hear from you. I know we have been interviewing loads and loads of therapists. I mean, we're into the 30s now of the interviews that we have done with all the various experts and therapies. But it would be great to hear some personal stories of how, if any of the therapies that we have covered have actually helped you change your life and turn things around. So at the moment, unfortunately, there is still no sign of my guest. I don't know what has happened on her end. She was there a minute ago, and now, just like magic, she is gone. So I don't think there's really much more to say, apart from drop us a line, give us your story, and please, we would love to have you on our show and chat to you. And we will bring Sarah back another day. Absolutely. Oh, hang on. She has made it just in time. Sarah, just in time. How are you? Can you hear me? We are live. If you could just sit forward to your mic there, that is brilliant. Sarah, how are you? I was giving up hope.
I put the markers on it yesterday saying the Wi-Fi never goes down, and it went down. So
oh my goodness, yeah, because we had a great chat online there the other day, yeah. All right, beforehand. And as we were saying, yeah, because you're in Dublin, you're in Maynooth, yeah. So Wi-Fi is always pretty good around there. Yeah. So Sarah, tell us a bit about yourself and how you started out doing what you do.
Okay, so I'm originally from Maynooth, and I used to work in finance. So I used to work in the kind of wholesale bank and international finance. And it was pretty soulless work, so I knew it wasn't for me forever. But it was good when you're young and you need the money and stuff like that. So I knew I wanted to do something that helped people, so I decided I'd do massage. So I did a try with aromatherapy, but because I was working abroad a lot, I never got to finish that. So then I decided to make the leap, and I went and trained as a beautician because I thought it would help keep me, maybe get a job at some point in time. But I was only really interested in massage and maybe the facials. The rest I couldn't care less about. And so I started that up working from home then myself when I was living in Offaly. And then we emigrated to Spain. And as it turned out, it was a good job I had the beautician's qualification, because I got a job then in a detox juicing retreat in Spain, because they needed a beautician and massage therapist. And it was while I was there then I got the chance to be introduced to colonics, and I got to do my training there as well. So, and I worked there doing colonics and massage at the same time. So that was kind of how I ended up where I am in the field that I am. And so 5 years ago, we moved back to Ireland. And so I set up then myself here in Maynooth. So going.
Lovely. So Spain was a bit of a leap.
Yeah, it was. Like that was back. It was in 2011 when we moved, and it was like back in the bad old days, let's say, of the crisis and the crash.
Yeah.
And like the value had been trying to sell our house, and it like went from up here and then it was down here in a matter of weeks. Like so, we ended up that my husband said, well, we had a bit of savings, and he said, well, why don't we go and be miserable in the sunshine?
I have to
So
say, I'm inclined to agree with him. I think that was a
yeah,
great train of thought to have.
yeah, because we had tried loads of things, like, because he worked in finance as well, so all his projects dried up because there were no investments in things, IT and that at the time. So um yeah, we said, look, let's just do it. And we had actually been out before. We had, like, that kind of had been the plan anyway, but obviously we had been hoping that we'd sell the house for a lot more at the time, but it didn't happen. So we went anyway. And that's, yeah, so it was a really good experience, like, that's where I
So
got to
coming
the
back
clinic.
then and setting up now, because colonics now, I know absolutely nothing about it. So why would somebody want to have the colonic treatment done?
Okay, so the main reason people come is because they suffer with constipation or IBS type symptoms. So that's the most frequent thing that people are dealing with. And a lot more people are constipated than actually most of us realize. And a lot more people are constipated than even themselves realized. So I didn't realize how constipated I was until I had my colonics. And then I was like, oh my God, I was terrible. So once things were working properly, then you realize how bad it is. So that's the first reason that people come in. But like, a lot of people now are coming because they want to kickstart a healthy lifestyle, to do a cleanse, to get more energy, maybe improve the skin. Migraines is a big one. So just like, it can touch on nearly anything that people are looking to improve, really, because they say now all health starts in the gut.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people are tuning into that and realizing, okay, that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start there, and then, add in all the other stuff as well. So
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, because even last week, when we were talking to, or just before we had our break, we were talking to Julie, and in the kinesiology, and it was all, yes, talking about the gut as well and the impact that it has on your system.
yeah.
So because I was trying to think, and I was doing my little bit of research and homework, and don't worry if anybody's watching, because it is 12 o'clock. I'm not going to go into any of the ins and outs of what I read online, but is it uncomfortable?
Okay, I'll be honest with you. Like, it's not a nice treatment like having a facial or a nice relaxing massage. So I always say to people, it's not about what happens on the bed. It's about how amazing you feel when you get off the bed. So that's what you have to focus on. It's not uncomfortable, like, because I don't like doing uncomfortable treatments, and no matter what kind of treatment I'm doing. So I try to make it as comfortable as possible and work with whatever levels that you and your body is able for at that point in time. And for me, it's more about getting the body to join in on the day, and to remember what it's supposed to do, rather than just about how much water goes in, or
Yeah,
how much comes out, even, you know what I mean? Because it's just about reminding the synapses between the gut brain and the head brain that they have to connect again and say, oh yeah, this is what it feels like, that's what we need to do, so to kind of get that training again. So I always say it's kind of like when you do a Pilates class and it's absolutely killing you, but in your head, it's doing you good. So it's kind of the same thing.
it's kind of the same. Pilates, yeah, there's a good analogy.
Yeah. Well, like, it's
um,
like your because your gut muscles and your bowel muscles are working throughout the whole treatment. So it's like they're doing the Pilates class, but you're just
yes,
lying in the bed.
yeah, I know, I get you, because the thing is, because we hear so much about, our good bacteria and our bad bacteria in the gut, and how it affects, like, does that, um like, what way does it improve then, that, like, what the gut, and the bacteria and how it functions, like,
Yeah.
you know what I
Well,
mean?
like, the analogy I like to use is that, like, imagine you have like a garden and it's full of weeds, and you go down to the garden centre and you buy all your nice bedding plants and you go and put them in. So the weeds are still there and they're still going to take over, and the nice bedding plants are not really going to thrive. Some of them might take, but a lot of them won't. So you've wasted all that time and energy on it. So it's a bit like that with your gut. If the the microbiome is out of balance, you can put all the good stuff you want in, and some of it will make you feel better, but a lot of it won't necessarily take, because it has to get through all that, the weeds and the sludge that is in there. So by doing the colonics and helping to clear out any of the waste that's sitting in there too long, we can allow the body then to get back to what it does best and regrow the right bacteria in the right balances. So you have, like, I mean, I don't like to talk about good and bad bacteria because we need strains of all sorts of types. You know, it's just that if you have too much of something, it could be unhealthy for you, or not enough of something. So it's about getting it into balance. So the more you eliminate, and the more your colon will cleanse itself naturally, then the more balance you'll get in the bacteria. So you'll have the right.
And I suppose when you think of it really, and you look at, say, the modern diet, and I use like diet in inverted commas, you know, is that our gut really is not designed for a lot of the processed stuff that ends up on our plates from somewhere. So, you know, I suppose it goes without saying that it's going to hang on to something, and it's going to block somewhere, because we're not designed actually to take it in the first place.
Absolutely. It's like we're not designed to eat like that at all. Because I mean, one of the things that is really important for your gut health is fiber. And the fiber in fruits and vegetables is like insoluble fiber that can only be dealt with by your bowel. And the reason is that's there to mop everything up and push everything that out of the system. So if you're not eating that stuff, you're not going to get rid of enough stuff out of the system. It's not going to, the stuff is always going to be left behind. And I think as well, the way we eat and what we eat together is no longer in balance either. Do you know what I mean? It's like we eat lots of really heavy, rich, meaty foods with sauces, which are really rich. And then we usually have alcohol with that as well. And then we'll have sweets afterwards, which is all the sugars, you know what I mean? So it's like there's an awful lot of processes needed to digest that type of food. When most of us are already drained from normal life. So, you know, like your body is going to divert the energy where it needs it to keep it alive. So the digestion is going to be the kind of slowed down version of what it should be, you know.
And the irony is in all of that is that those heavy foods are going to make you feel sluggish anyway, even before the length of time it takes for it to process through your system and get down into the bowel or whatever. So it, you know, as much as you're enjoying it. So how often would somebody, say over a 12-month period, or is there what's the recommended, or is it different for different scenarios? I mean, would people come and have one done, say, before they were going into hospital maybe, or before, you know, I don't know, is there a time that people decide that, yeah, this is when I'll have it done now?
Well, like as a kind of a maintenance program, I always kind of say with the change of seasons is a good time to have them, you know, like, because, you know, when you go from summer into the winter and autumn, you kind of tend to eat different anyway. So you're not getting as much of the fresh salads and things like that. Plus the days are getting shorter, so you're not maybe as active. So there's a bit of a change there where your body might be slowing down a bit. So it's a good time to do it then. Again, after Christmas, the celebrations coming into the spring when the days are getting longer, you know, so that's, and then you might, I'd normally say have one after you've been on holidays. And then, you know, you have another one or two to play around with there if there's been an event, or, you know, coming into the summer to get ready again. So like as a maintenance program, that's kind of the idea. But like, I mean, it's how long is a piece of string? Some people come once a year because they're already in tune with everything. They've done all the lifestyle changes. Other people, they might need to come once a week for 6 weeks because they're so bad. And then we'll, like, the idea is always to stretch it out, that there's longer between appointments so that you can need to come less, you know. And so some people come every 3 months. Some people will do a block of 6 together, and then they might come again next year and do a block of 6 together. So it kind of depends on what you're dealing with and how effective and how well your gut is working, you know.
Which is great. Now, the other thing you do, because I put out there, we're going, is the cupping massage. Now, how does that differ to, as somebody just thinks, say, a massage? And by the way, everybody, so just before you answer, we are on StreamYard. So please allow StreamYard access to your profile. It's only your profile. If you'd like to ask Sarah a question here now while she's on, or post a comment, we'd love to hear from you. But back to the question, sorry. The difference between, say, the cupping massage and massage that people would normally think of.
Okay, so the main difference with the cupping massage, in normal massage, you're applying pressure downward onto the body with your hands. With cupping, it's all upward. So it's a lifting massage. So the cups are placed on the body in the anywhere basically. You can have all different size cups, and when you apply the cup, it lifts the soft tissue up into the cup, so into a dome-like shape, and so that creates space and it creates flow. So you're like with anything physics, if you create a space, something rushes in there, so that draws in the circulation, so you get fresh blood supply in there. And it also, when you release it, then it helps to push out any stagnation that might have been sitting in those tissues. And for me, what it does is, my favorite part of it is that it's comfortable. I can adjust the comfort of it very easily and work on areas that might be really tender and uncomfortable to work with traditional massage, because you're applying the pressure and it's too sore. So you're lifting it, so you're kind of, and then you're separating the fibers. So I do a lot of, like, it would be pumping action, so like suction and release. So that kind of gets them all softened up. It gets the fibers to separate a little bit, so then I can go in with my hands and it's more comfortable, and to stretch them out to release it.
Yeah, and funny, I mean, I've only ever had a massage once, and it was actually because of the pressure. I actually didn't like the pressure into it. Now that's not taken away from the therapist that treated me, but it was me personally. That pressing down just I think I would be more inclined for myself to actually have it the other way, working the opposite way, as you say, to let the blood come through. But the cup, that's based, because when we were chatting the other day, some of what we were saying, that's based around acupuncture, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's based from traditional Chinese medicine. So that's kind of, well, but it's also used in Egypt, in Pakistan, India, and those places. They would do wet cupping and things like that. So it's very much part of Eastern philosophies and thousands of years old. And like when they're using it, they're more working with traditional Chinese medicine pathways, which would be the meridians that are connected to different organs and systems in the body. So that's what they're trying to stimulate. So they would leave the cups on for a lot longer than I would. What I like to, my cups are usually moving. So they're like, I park them for a short space of time, maximum 3 minutes, just to get the circulation going, get things softened up, and then I'll start moving them. So it's like, it feels like massage, but it's upward pressure, and it's more of a gliding sensation. So that's, my clients absolutely love that bit. Once they start feeling the cup moving, they're like, oh, here comes the good stuff, like, so.
Yeah. And you see, that's the bit I think that I'd like, actually. Yeah. That more gliding, flowing type of feel on a massage.
Yeah. So, and it's deep work without that feeling of, oh my God, they're digging into me. You know what I mean? So you're getting really a lot of work into the fibers of the muscle without that pressing and pressing and pressing. So
I don't feel like a lump of yeast on a breadboard that's been, manipulated and that's the cups.
So that's one of my little silicone ones. So I don't know if I have to.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So there you go. So it just sits on it like that,
Oh, very good.
Like that. So you can't see it with this pink one necessarily, but there. So
I know everything is reversed here on the stream.
So it's all very up into the cup, and then I just can glide that up and down once I have the oils on. So
lovely. So now people have seen what they look like, and they're not very scary at all.
No.
Now the other thing we were chatting about was athletes and cupping. Now you're saying they're holy terrors. That wasn't quite the phrase that we used, but holy terrors is one that is one safe to use now.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of people ring me up and they'd say, "You do use sports massage?" And then I just explain to them what I do, and I say, "But it's very beneficial," because I find a lot of sports people are really about patch me up and get me going. You know what I mean? It's a bit like the guys on the side of the pitch. Like that's where, like, and cupping and dry needling are being used in that way now a lot, in that they're like, they're putting in the needle with the fella who's got the twinge and send them back straight out in the pitch, like that's fine if you're that kind of a person, but it's not how I like to work, because I think it's just ignoring what's going on, that, you're putting stresses and strains on parts of your body, and you're not really listening to it and paying attention. You're just loading it again. You just kind of putting a plaster on it and out you go again. And, you know, if it was stitches, you'd burst the stitches and then you just put another plaster on, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't really like to operate in that way, you know. And a lot of the times with sports people, they'll end up worse crocs than you or me or ordinary person who are you know, just doing your daily walks or whatever, because they just push themselves to keep going all the time. Even if they're injured, they can't stop training. They have to find a way around it, and they, you know, so yeah, it's
No
very hard.
patience.
No patience. Yeah,
No patience.
yeah.
Yeah,
And to be
exactly.
honest with you, and like, no, I'm massaging people now for 20 years, and the people I've seen who have aged the best and who like have amazing physiques and everything like that are not the super fit people who've done elite sports or, you know, been really, you know, into their sports. It's the people who've done things like they go for their walks every day, they do yoga, they do stretching, you know what I mean? It's kind of in the middle, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, we had your website link up there. Tech Esther is in the back.
very
Yay.
good.
Sarah Breslin Wellness. Now, I know you're down, as you say, you're Maynooth based, but if somebody was looking for the therapy, say in their area, maybe they're up here in Donegal or they're in Galway or whatever, the chances are you would actually be able to refer them
Yeah.
across.
Yeah, because there's so like in terms of massage, I'm in part of the Irish Massage Therapy Association. So we would have, as part of that, you'd have a directory there. So there'd be people we could refer there. And then for the colonics, it's normal. We don't have an Irish association, but there's 2 UK associations. So again, through that, I would know people. We have a group that we're on Facebook that we're all in contact with each other. So yeah, so we definitely would be in connection there, and I could definitely send you to somebody that I think is worthwhile going to. So
that's no bad. And thanks for getting on. There you go.
thank you
The
for the mobile.
the network gods were shining on you today. Sarah,
Oh,
it's been great chatting to you. Thank you so much for coming on, and best of luck with everything. And I know you're really busy, and thanks for taking the time out today. And hopefully now some more clients now will see this and be giving you a shout.
that's brilliant, Barbara. And listen, thank you so much for having me on and for making it so enjoyable.
Oh, not at all. You're more than welcome. More than
Okay.
welcome.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for
Thank
watching
you.
today. And we'll see you next Thursday. Bye.